What's up guys, welcome back, TCG Metagame Breakdown for early November 2020. So finally, like after half a year, we have in real life events again. Past TCG Metagame Breakdowns were always based on like online format tournaments. That's, well, you know, a bit different, but well, like the big lines from those tournaments, the decks, most popular decks should be pretty much the same, right, as let's say like in real life tournaments. So the results here heavily focused on the PPG tournament from past weekend. As you see here, the pie chart, I believe there were a little over 60 players present at the event. I believe 66. There were, at least there was place for more people, but due to COVID-19 there was just at least no more players weren't just allowed in the venue. So I believe 66 players. This is the top 8 and something that we've seen, you know, from like online tournaments from past months, right? Dragon Link pretty much dominating, or you know, the biggest representation in the top cut lists, while, you know, other lists as we've seen here, Infernal Knights and Vogue the Dogmatica and Emancipator, that was a surprise, and then the last two being Buster Blader in top 8 and Zoodiac as well. So with Phantom Rage legal, two things I wanted to look at past weekend, or this weekend, right, is how would Zoodiac do? We've seen in the OCG that Zoodiac has been like a top contender past couple of months with the release of Zeus. And second is Prank-Kids. How would Prank-Kids do in the TCG, especially because our TCG format is much different. I'm looking at like Maxi, which is not allowed in a TCG, while it's at 3 in the OCG. And it's of course a big card against a deck like Prank-Kids. So how are these decks doing? Let's zoom in, right? So the PPG event was eventually won by this list, by Zoodiac, the one of Zoodiac player in the top 8. And looking at his list is that we've seen these lists in the OCG as well. Most notable is the Solemn Strike. The Solemn Strike package in the main deck, only 2 Everest, not 3. No Tri-Brigades, again, as we've seen in the OCG. You just don't really seem to want to add in Tri-Brigades to keep the list as consistent as possible, and of course you want to just main deck more hand traps, right? Speaking of like big beat sticks, here is Zooking Alpha, because again the OCG has access to multiple Pankratops, while in the TCG Pankratops is at 1. But double Zeus here in the extra deck, it's again one of those cards that will put this deck at you know, like the top tier status. But outside of that, seems like a pretty well, staple list here for Zeus, so congrats. Second list, we have Dragon Link indeed, main decking the double DD Crow, right? I mean, DD Crow is a very versatile hand trap. The side deck speaks for itself. The Buster Lock is one of those cards that, you know, in like a little over a month, I think we can expect our next TCG Forbidden and Limited list. And, you know, the Buster Lock might be, you know, something for that. But Dragon Link second place, even though Dragon Link, I feel currently is the best deck of the format, but it didn't win the event. Third place, and this was an interesting one, but although not surprising, is that Buster Blader. You know, Buster Blader with their trap cards and trap trick engine, fusion summoning during your opponent's turn, you know, like with the synchro, put your fusion synchro, basically prevent your opponent from playing the game, very similar to Domain Monarchs. Again, you know, yeah, put every monster from your opponent in defensive position, and having both the fusion and synchro up on your side of the field for Buster Blader basically equals the lock. And add in generic stuff like you know, the Red Ice Dragoon, the Red Ice engine, and the Dogmatica engine. You're just playing like a very underdog deck, I guess, for the format. So third place, that's a cool one. This will definitely put this deck, you know, up there for other people to try it out in their locals or other tournaments in the near future. And fourth place, the only, you know, like Infernal Knight player here in the top 8. Still a strong deck, right? With, of course, and that's something I would eventually add in as well, is the Dark Ruler no more, the droplets as well, and only 1 gear free. That's an interesting one. Let's move on. Top 8, one of the Dragon Link decks, of course, also main decking the triple Kaiju and triple Talons in the main deck. That's an interesting one. We see Emancipator, long time no see, but it's also one of those decks that, same with Dragon Link, has the ability to play through multiple hand traps from your opponent and still and on like a couple of negation, but most importantly and on the Buster lock. So again, that's also one of those things that, you know, we might see put on the ban list, because even after getting hand trapped multiple times, you're still able to end on like Boral Savage and Buster lock. So that's just not fun and a big problem in the current format. The Dogmatica and Vogue list, again, super consistent, triple talents, triple droplets, oh, crazy stuff, again, very strong if you're going second as well. Then Dragonlink also, again, nothing too spectacular, right? Most lists are pretty much the same. And then the one of Prank-Kid list, at least that's revealed here. The Prank-Kid's deck that got in the top 16 spot. And the one of the interesting picks here, and that's something I like, is the Parallel Exceeds in the main deck. That has the that gives your deck the ability, especially because this deck has that Link 1 play, to put up an early Rafflesia, and of course main decking the trap that has the ability to prevent your opponent from using Nibiru, or if they use Nibiru, if they use a hand trap, negate that with a trap hole. So again, that's an interesting one. We might see this, you know, like generic engine being splashed more in something like Prank-Kids. Then, let's move on. Other tournaments, again, all the sources will be in the video description as well. We see first place Orcust, interesting one, Mech Orcust, that is, even though no hard horror, as we've seen in, you know, OCG in the past. But it's a bummer, right? Who knows, we might get back hard horror on our next list. Probably not, but Girsu is still a very strong card. Plunder Patrol, first place as well, that's an interesting one also, and a bit of a bummer is that we might not see more support here in the TCG, but who knows, the deck might get like a broken, you know, like OCG exclusive that might get important soon, but who knows. But Plunder Patrol, I like the playstyle a lot, but it's, you know, vulnerable to disruption, like more vulnerable compared to other decks, that is. Madolches as well, it's, you know, a deck that's still very strong, but other decks, the ceiling of other decks is just much higher. And then I'm speaking for Madolches that have multiple one cards, you know, OTKs and combos. And you know, like moving down or moving towards the end, another Prank-Kids list, second place here, not going for the Parallel Exceed, but indeed main decking the full copy or the full engine of full engine 3 DD Crows, only Double Blossom that is, but I mean, it's Prank-Kids, and something we've seen in the OCG as well is that it's Prank-Kids are on the rise, as you might have seen in the last OCG metagame breakdown. The last Prank-Kids list here in the video, a top 4 one, but again, speaks for itself. The 12 Prank-Kids in the main deck, their Link 1 play is very strong. Triple Nibiru, triple Blossom, triple Impermanence. I mean, yeah, do we need more, right? Then last but not least, another Zoodiac list, first place, main decking a triple Twin Twister, triple Phantasme also, not to forget, only one Avarice and double Desires. Not a huge fan of triple Desires in the main deck, but again, double Zeus, it's just a very strong card, right? But that's how it is. Tri-Brigates, not too strong. Most people just prefer pure Zoo with multiple hand traps, a lot of hand traps. You just want to keep your space for the hand traps rather than a Tri-Brigade engine. Prank-Kids are doing okay, especially seeing that this is like the first weekend. We can definitely expect more Prank-Kids. And last but not least, Zoodiacs, definitely on the rise, and the first place in the PPG tournament will just, you know, will cause more players to play the deck in upcoming locals, regionals, remote duels, or remote duel tournaments, right? So expect more from this deck. Okay, guys, that's it. Thanks for watching. Feel free to leave a comment or like if you enjoyed the video. Lithium signing out. Peace.